Are we dissolving to one? 3, 2, 1. You're live with Rob Patry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving time. One of my favorite holidays of the year. Turkey, gravy, potatoes, stuffing, and of course, my favorite thing, pumpkin spice potpourri. And today, the studio is filled with it because who doesn't like pumpkin spice potpourri? So to help us celebrate this wonderful occasion is the great Chef Alex Haun. The great, don't you like that? From Kingsbrae Garden.
That's right.
Savor in the Garden, is that what?
Kingsbrae Garden.
Kingsbrae Garden. And he's going to be cooking with us. We're going to talk about food. Maybe give a couple of hints. Turkey cooking hints.
Maybe not a turkey, but somewhere
like
along,
little tiny turkeys.
Maybe little tiny turkeys.
Little tiny turkeys.
Sure.
Do you have turkey at home?
Occasionally,
Usually?
absolutely. Yeah.
Do you like turkey?
Yeah, if it's done right.
Okay, let me guess. You brine it.
Absolutely.
I knew it.
That's the only way to cook a turkey. You brine it and don't cook it whole. You have to completely debone it and cook the breast separately from the legs and at different times, and you have such a better product coming out.
Okay, so you got to take it all apart.
Absolutely. That's that signature picture of the turkey with all the fixings that everybody's grown up with. That's
right.
Really, in my mind, one of the worst ways to cook a turkey, because the breast wants to cook at a different temperature than the legs, and it just really breaking it down, you're able to hone in on that perfect time and temperature to really maximize the flavor.
Okay, so you know what? I have a feeling you're probably against frozen stuffed turkeys, aren't you?
Absolutely. And even if you're going to cook a whole turkey, you don't want to stuff it, because by the time the stuffing comes to an optimum temperature of about 165, the breast and the legs are already toast. They've dried out. And
right.
So really,
you know, you've just described my turkey dinner for the past, I don't know, 50 years.
If you want to do that perfect looking turkey that's on all the magazine covers, stuff it after. So make the bird and then put the stuffing in and take it to the table.
Once it's cooked.
And pretend like you did it like that all
That's
along.
a great idea. I've never heard that, but I love that. Yeah. So make it on the stovetop or in the oven or however you do it, and then put it in there after.
That would be the way.
That's a great idea. Okay, so you debone it. Is that something that anybody can do at home? Or?
Butchery takes a little skill, but the nice thing with butchery is anytime you're taking apart a carcass, an animal, really you let your knife and the bone do the work. That your blade follows the animal and the bone and its construction, and really you can't screw it up that way.
Okay, and now what's your favorite part of the turkey?
The leg.
The leg, the
Absolutely.
drumstick.
Yeah, the dark meat.
The dark meat. Now, given a chicken, a turkey, what's your preference?
Neither. I would take a duck.
You take a duck?
Absolutely.
Would you do a duck for Thanksgiving?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, my family got together last week, so we did Thanksgiving last week. And I did a beef shank. So we braised it for about 24 hours and just fall apart, melting in the pan with.
You know, I was talking last week, you had Elizabeth Rowe on from Italian by Night on last week, and I was telling her I love braised meats. I think that braised is like the way to go all the time.
Braised beef shank, braised short rib, braised lamb shank, any type of what's called an ugly cut, something that's not the tenderloin or breast or something like that, something that takes a little bit of skill and finesse to cook. That's really, you're able to hone in on some great primal flavors.
And do you like veal, like osso buco?
Absolutely.
Oh, jeez. You know, when are we going to start eating? I got to know that soon. If you have any calls, we're here live, and you can give us a call at 855-529-8826 or locally 529-8826. Now, we're going to be going to the kitchen after the break, but you might have the odd question for Chef Alex, maybe a turkey question, but he already seems to have helped us on that. And what about fixings? You have cranberry sauce? Are you traditional?
I despise cranberry.
What do? You scrap it?
I put it out because some people do like it. Personally, for me, I'm not for the sweet and a little bit of bitterness. I understand it, and I recognize its point on the table. Right. But personally, for me, it's just, if I just had turkey and stuffing, I'm good. I don't.
You don't need all that.
No, I don't need the vegetables, of course, Brussels sprouts, and yeah, great. But everything else, the mashed potatoes. I don't
Root
need
vegetables?
Oh, absolutely. Like a good caramelized root vegetable is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
I have to agree. Now, how do I get an invite to your place for Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, maybe next year we'll just plan it.
Next year. All right, I got to wait a whole year for this. You know what? He's not going to talk to me in a year. I don't know that's what's going to happen. But well, we can always hope.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that sounds great. So I love everything you're doing. So how have you been since the last time you were on? I guess earlier this year. You've been busy?
Absolutely.
Good summer?
It's been an incredible summer, as usual, in St. Andrews. This has been a boom year in my mind. The town's just been packed, whether you're driving downtown around the point or you're one of our many guests in the garden. It's been a really busy year. It's been a fun year.
And you've won that St. Andrews by the Sea won the USA Today
That's right.
award.
I think that had a big part to do with our visitation levels
Is that right?
In St. Andrews, absolutely.
Wow, so the restaurant was hopping?
Yeah, it definitely was. We put a third tier on our patio. We did a big kitchen renovation, and thank goodness we did to keep up with the demand. It was a fun year all around.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now this week you've got a big event coming up. Indulge.
I live for this. This
is
my payoff at the end of a long year.
This is Chef Alex Haun's time to shine.
Well, it's not me. It's the whole community's time to shine. And a lot of chefs from all over the province come to visit us to hang out and feed the people of this community and beyond.
Right.
So it's Indulge Week. It's an amazing week. We've expanded and added some great new venues. We have Indulge in Paint with Jeff Slater. We have Indulge in Comedy with James Mullinger, as well as Taste of St. Andrews. We have the VIP party in part with the Dairy Farmers of Canada on Friday. And then Saturday, the big night, we're going to have the Harvest Feast, excuse me, at Kingsbrae.
And how many people are you expecting here?
To be honest, I'm prepared to do lots of food for the
busy.
I'm going to be very busy, as well as most restaurants, and yeah, we're just excited to get creative. And try
I
some new things.
knew that this was coming up, so thank you first of all for coming on, and because you probably would be working right now.
I definitely would be working right now
instead of being here on the TV show. But I really do appreciate it. It's very kind of you, because this is a big week for you.
It is. Yeah, there's a lot of venues. Yeah.
And we were talking the last time about your day, which can be like from 5 in the morning till 1, and I guess that's what you're going to be having a lot of this
week. The last couple of weeks, it's been a little quieter this time of year, shoulder season in a tourist town, but this week is definitely
a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Now, can you give us a bit of an idea of what you're going to be doing?
For me, with the venues we're hosting at Kingsbrae, we have some breads and spreads and charcuterie we're going to be putting out for the comedy night. The painting with Jeff Slater, we're going to do a little cheesecake sampling. And then for the Friday night Taste of St. Andrews, I'm going to do 3 courses. The first is going to be a venison carpaccio.
Wow.
The second course, kind of the entree, so to speak, will be one of my courses I've been playing with all summer, sucker and belly. So
right.
It's octopus.
I was lucky enough to try that.
Yeah,
I think we
started it at Seafood Fest, and it's been tweaked all summer.
Oh.
So really excited to put that course on, and then we're gonna have a great dessert course utilizing some some fruit produced in the garden from our own trees.
Wow.
And then Saturday we're going to do a duck and foie gras course for the main at Harvest, and then probably the venue the item I'm most excited to do is going to be the Sunday golf tournament for the fire department. So it's going to be an Indulge in Golf where we're going to have chefs from across the province, some oyster producers, out on the golf course, and you're going to go, you're going to swing, you're going to play a hole, get a bite to eat, and walk to your ball, and then we're going to have a little banquet reception at Kingsbrae. And this is all in support of a great cause, the fire department here in St. Andrews.
And you're all about feeding people, aren't you? That's what you love to do.
It is.
I know that's what you do, but
Yeah.
you just love to do it.
I do. It's something I'm passionate about and always have been ever since a kid, really.
I know we had, about a month ago, we had Jeff Slater came on. We had the artists of Kira came on. And we had the opportunity to go and see them and see their art. And and watch them discuss it. And you would set out this big table. Now, I was not expecting that, but see, there's always food there. Every event that you seem to be connected to involves food, and there's this whole charcuterie table, and there's breads, and there's wine. See, I wasn't expecting that, but you're always doing that. That's what you do.
Food makes people happy.
It does.
And yeah.
And it goes with everything. That's a nice thing.
Yes,
you know, there's not an occasion where they, oh, not more food.
Please put the food and wine away. You know,
that. I bet you don't hear that a lot.
You don't.
Now, that belly and sucker, we had that at your tapas night.
During Seafood Fest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I told you last time, and if I didn't, I'll tell you. And if I did, I'll tell you again. That belly was unbelievable. It was pork belly.
That was pork belly.
But I could, you know, I need a whole like pig belly to eat. I could. That's how good it was. It was tender and luxurious and just incredible flavor.
It's a fun dish, kind of a surf and turf. And when people hear surf and turf, they're usually just expecting lobster and beef.
Yeah.
But to switch it up and do the octopus and the pork.
Pork belly.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's very clever. But where do you come up with these ideas?
I'd love to say that's mine, but it's a classic pairing. You see it all at all the restaurants, really.
I know, but still, I mean, you know, when I go home and I got to prepare a meal like for Thanksgiving, if we're not doing turkey, I'm doing like a Swanson frozen dinner. That's what I'm having. So, but you're coming up with all these exotic things. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, it is. I mean, this is, I guess, part of it is imagination and creativity in being a chef.
There's the notebook beside the bed. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're scratching out ideas. You wake up the next morning, yeah, it was a good one, yeah, it wasn't. And then it's developing from there. It's rarely, sometimes you go to a plate just with an idea and it works. Other times you need to develop it and take away from the good points and walk away from the bad. And that's really how a dish is made and conceived.
I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm writing things like, remember to turn the coffee machine on and stuff like that. You're creating at night.
Yeah, I don't know, when you when you go to sleep watching food shows, when you're reading about them, when you're just immersed in your work and personal life, your mind just is constantly racing about what could I do differently? How could I take this and make it this?
Do you ever dream about food?
I dream all the time about food in the restaurant. I think my recurring nightmare is the ticket machine in the restaurant, just that where the chits come up and we're putting them up and that's the food orders that we need to create and
So you are like completely immersed in this food lifestyle.
And that's the industry. I'm not the first person to say that. Most chefs,
Well,
all
yeah,
chefs
but you know
are,
what? You're like one of the few I know, so I love to hear it because it's like I love food. I love cooking. I love eating, and I find it speaking with you is just so fascinating. Your love just comes through. And it's great. It's just, you know, to hear you talk about food and that you're dreaming about it and reading about it and watching TV.
I'm fortunate. I know a lot of young chefs, when they go to culinary school, there's a high burnout rate, just the demands of the industry. But I've definitely been one of those lucky few that it didn't burn me out yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no, don't say yeah.
Yeah, well,
it won't.
But, no, it won't. I think I'm definitely a so to speak, lifer for the industry.
You're committed to doing it.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Now, now I think we're going to be taking a break pretty soon because we're about quarter after. But we're going to be going over to the kitchen. Is it a good time for a break, Patrick? Okay, we'll take our break. You and I are going to move over there.
Sounds great.
And we'll talk about some of these things that I've got on my little pencil and paper pad here. And then we're going to start cooking. We're going to put you where you are going to flourish.
I'm excited.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So we're here with Chef Alex Haun, and we'll be right back with Rob Patry Live. Okay, so welcome back to Rob Patry Live. We're coming to you live from the kitchen. Now, we had to go up a couple of flights of stairs because our kitchen's on a different level, but it's worth every step, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Every step of the way. Now, what you've got, now you told me you were going to cook us a turkey tonight, but I don't think this is a turkey.
I lied.
You lied.
Yeah.
Or it's a very tiny one. No. What is this little tiny thing?
Honey, I Shrunk the Turkey.
Very good. So how did you, okay, what is this thing?
This is a quail.
Okay. Now, this is a bird, I take it, because it looks like a bird.
It is a bird, definitely.
Okay.
It's a very small bird. It's a very dainty little bird.
Dainty, I like that.
Yeah.
That's very dainty. Okay, so now I'm just going to point out to the folks at home, we've got 2 wings and 2 little tiny drumsticks,
Yep.
and then the rest of them.
That's right.
Now, do we eat all of him?
Yeah, absolutely.
The wing and the drumstick?
The wing, I'm going to tweak the wing a little.
Okay.
I'm going to make an airline on it, and I'm just going to...
Okay, well, now what was that you just said? You're going to make an airline.
An airline. So
What's that?
An airline is this
Like
bone
a
right
plane?
here.
Like
Well,
Air Canada?
the airline is this bone right here that's
Okay.
attached to the breast, and then it
Okay.
becomes a supreme.
Oh, a supreme.
A supreme.
What's a supreme?
A supreme is a cut of a poultry breast.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never heard that before. Well, okay, so that's very cool. Okay, now, is he, how do you buy him? Where do I get him from?
You can buy these at most grocery stores, actually.
Sorry,
No
yeah.
problem. And we have this guy coming from Sussex, from one of our local suppliers. And
Okay.
I'm just going to quickly do a quick demo on how to butcher them. And then I was thinking maybe you could help me out with some herbs and getting our garnishes ready for
All right.
the main event.
Okay, the last time you had me attempting to crush some, or
Make some pesto.
yeah, and it didn't work out too well. And that was my fault because I'm a weak man. But you were powerful. I had nothing. Everybody's, how does he do that with a mortar and pestle? And then they said, does he do that at the restaurant? I said, absolutely. He does it by the ton for some.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now this is thyme.
This is thyme.
Okay. And I said, see, now we didn't have the problem with the basil. It's just we both agree.
This is just thyme.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Okay, so I'm just going to get you to kind of pick off just kind of little pieces like that for me.
Okay.
And not too much stem, just more green than anything.
Okay.
And I'm going to just...
Okay, that's all I have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a, okay.
So I'm just going to take my knife right off the keel bone, and I'm just going to follow the carcass down, and I'm going to pull the breast away the whole time.
Now, where did you learn to do this stuff? At school, I guess.
At school, but butchery's, well, it's one of those things you need to know in the kitchen. And it's a dying art. You're seeing a lot of, for me personally, I'm seeing a lot of restaurants that are going to their local butcher, which is great, but the skill's not being passed down as much to the apprentices. So it's definitely something I like to take an active role in.
Right.
In teaching my apprentices some of these finer techniques.
Okay. Now, what is spatchcock? Is it spatchcock?
That's
shuttlecock.
Spatchcock. That's
what
awesome.
does spatchcock
That's
mean?
awesome. You know, so spatchcock is when you take the quail and you take the main carcass out, and you kind of take the breasts off and
Right.
the legs off, and it's kind of like this with still attached on the other side, and it's flattened frog and French, and it's kind of
It is?
Yeah, it's a very classic dish in France.
Wow. All right, can we get a close up of this, Vicky? Vicky's our camera person tonight. Camera woman, camera girl.
So you just see I'm just pulling the breast away and just making small little cuts. And when you're doing any type of butchery, it's just that little bit of the knife you want to use.
Okay. See, now I'm screwing up this whole time thing. You're going to be really disappointed again in me. Because you know what? Basically, all I'm giving you is stem. See, because I feel pressure with you.
Well, you should feel pressure.
No, but I do, because you know what you're doing, and I'm like very amateurish.
Would you mind turning on
The stove?
the stove,
Oh,
the little
no.
induction burner?
The induction burner, sorry. Okay, here we are. Oops. Okay. See, I'm already having problems. This is my, all right. Oh, mode. I need
There
the
you
mode.
go. Yep.
Okay, so we're at 10?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So we want to get a high heat going, and we want to, we have a little canola oil in there.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're just going to sear them off.
Now, where did this, you had this in this thing over here?
Well, that was I wanted to show just the basic preparation of the quail.
We're not there yet.
We're not there.
Again.
So
I keep hitting your foot. I apologize.
no problem. So what I did was I just took the little wing bones off.
Okay.
And now we just have the airline. You can, classically, it would be Frenched, and you want to scrape it all for a chicken breast.
This is amazing. I've never seen anybody take a little tiny quail and do all this work.
It's worth it. It's
wow.
These are great.
I got to take you home with me. Okay, you get that a lot, eh?
Yeah, it's a common.
Wow.
So this is pretty much the basic preparation.
Okay.
You could sear this in a pan and finish it off 100%. What I've done is, just to take it to this point, I've actually have one here prepared already.
Okay.
And we put this in the circulator and we've sous vide it.
Okay.
So the process of sous vide is essentially you're just cooking. Just turn that down.
Okay.
You're just taking whatever item you want, whatever food product, you're putting it in a bag, you're infusing it with flavors and seasonings, and you're cooking it low and slow to hit that optimal temperature.
Right.
And so essentially what I have here is this set in here at 165 for about 35-40 minutes.
Okay.
With a little bit of thyme, garlic, and olive oil. We're going to clean this all off, and then we're going to go to the pan and sear it.
Now, I know a little bit about these things, and this isn't something many of us have at home. I know I don't, although I'd love to have one. But now this, can you just tell us a little bit about how this thing works?
So what it does is it has a heating coil, a heating element in it, and it's heating up the water pretty much fractions of a degree. I can go, right now we're at 165 Fahrenheit, I can go to 161, 162. I can set it to centigrade, whatever I'm looking for.
Right.
As well, what it's doing is the circulating component. There's a little pump that pushes the water around,
right.
And that's why it's called a circulator.
Okay.
And these actually are becoming, this model here is a little more expensive, but they're becoming more and more popular and affordable that you can pick them up Costco and essentially get the app for it. You put the recipe in, you hit the buttons, set the app on your phone, and it'll tell you when your food product is.
And then I can cook like a beef or a steak or a pork chop, anything.
You can cook anything. When it comes to proteins, the nice thing what this is doing is it's cooking at such low temperatures, but it's breaking down the protein to make it super tender. So really you can cook in here and then take it to a pan and sear it to give it that nice caramelization, that nice crispy look, so to speak. But it's all about time and temperature, weight and thickness. And that's really the principle of cooking
and
with a circulator.
Now, steak, will you put a steak in there?
You most certainly could.
And would you like you yourself, do you prefer a steak that way or on the grill or in a pan?
I like it in a pan. I like
pan is good.
A thin steel pan.
Yeah.
And caramelize it, and
that's better than a grill.
To me, it is. I'm not a fan of.
I agree.
I'm not a fan of grilled sticks at all.
You and I are simpatico.
Absolutely.
Because I agree with you, and I do it at home now in a pan, high heat, and then it comes out beautifully. Okay, now this little guy, I'm going to call him Dan Quail. And he's, oh God, that smells good.
The aroma, the garlic, that olive oil, it's beautiful.
You know what it smells like? A restaurant.
A restaurant, exactly.
Does that restaurant smell? Jeez.
So I'm
what
just.
What sorcery is this?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, that smells amazing, Alex.
So I'm just going to take off the thyme, and I'm just going to give him a little bit of a butcher.
Now, do I need to put this on?
Sure, if you want to turn that back on. I just didn't want the smoke out the studio.
Okay, no, that's not good. Okay, mode. Okay, so I'm on 10. Do you want me to go less?
Yeah, 10 will be perfect, and then we can just talk about this until that's ready, and then we're going to just sear them off, and then yeah, we'll get everything else ready.
Okay, so now you got a little leg and a little thigh, and that's the breast.
So we have the breast and the legs and the thigh. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to just give them a little season.
Oh, man, that smells good. Okay, so what are we doing here?
So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to pat them dry a little, just so I can get some really nice caramelization going.
Right.
I don't want to press too hard and have all the liquid and moisture leave, but I just want to get that skin just a little drier.
Now, even though he's in the circulator, he's not wet, like from water.
No, not at all.
He's in a bag.
He's completely in an airtight bag.
Okay.
So we have our New Brunswick sea salt.
Right.
And always when you're seasoning, always from a
Right.
distance, you want better dispersion. If you go low, it just concentrates your salt and seasoning level. When you're seasoning also and doing a sear, the old school method is salt and pepper. Salt and then do the pepper after.
After.
Right.
Yeah.
The pepper will actually go a little bit bitter.
Bitter.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so our oil's starting now. Now, how do you know when your oil's ready?
Great question. So with oil, you want to use an oil that has a high smoke point.
Yes.
Canola, grapeseed oil, extra virgin olive oil, horrible.
Right.
It's going to burn.
Right.
And what you're looking for is, do you see the little waves starting in there right now?
Yes.
That's the oil starting to split. So it's getting up to that optimum temperature, and we're just starting to see a little bit of smoke around the edges.
Okay.
And that's the pan
That's
smoking.
when you know the pan is ready.
We're ready to go.
Okay. Oh, I can hear a sizzle.
Sizzle is good.
Look at this, we're popping. See, now this is when I do this at home, my wife gets mad at me because I end up making a big mess everywhere.
It's going to happen.
Right.
And a little bit
Could
of
you tell her, can you call her and tell her that?
a little bit of a smoky kitchen. To cook food, sometimes you need hot oil. You need it to smoke a little. And
You know
turn
what?
the
When
hoods
you
on.
make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So, okay, so really what she should do is support me and clean up after. I guess you're not going to go as far as say
I'm not
that.
going to say that.
No. Okay, so we're starting to smoke. Hopefully the fire smoke will, oh look, I can see that browning.
We have a little bit of caramelization starting there. That one needs another minute. Perfect. So the big thing to remember is it's already cooked.
Yeah.
So we want to just get the color on it and take it out of the pan. We're not
Right.
trying to bring that internal temperature up any further. The circulator did that
It's
for
done
us.
that.
This is just to finish it off, give it that color and make it kind of appealing and so.
Does your kitchen at home smell like a restaurant when you cook? It must.
This time of year, no, there's very little cooking going on at home.
Because you're
yeah, I'm at work, but in the winter, absolutely.
Do you ever hit a wall where you say, you know what? I refuse to cook. Like I just had it. You want me to turn this
Yeah,
off?
please, that'd be great.
Like you just say, that's enough now. Does that happen or not really?
It happens from time to time, but so what we're gonna do now is one of the most
What are we gonna do?
one of the most important things with cooking meat is resting it. So we're just gonna trap in some of that heat, but we just want that protein just to relax because right now it's super tight like this, and we just want it to relax and get tender again.
So is this one of those deals where if I cut it, all the juice is gonna run out?
That's exactly
Too
it.
early?
So you don't want to do that. So
Right.
you want to just let the protein relax and hold on to all that juice and
how long
flavor.
should we do this for?
For a steak, I'm going to say 10 minutes.
Okay.
For this quail, 1 to 2 minutes.
Now, here's my problem. And as you know, I got a lot of problems. But one of the problems is if I'm cooking a steak, like I want it now, I don't have time to wait 10. Like, what am I supposed to do for 10 minutes?
Learn patience.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay, now I turn this off. Should I turn it back on?
Yeah, if you want to turn it on low, there's a lot of residual heat in that pan, so we don't need it as high.
Okay. All right. I got an H there. I don't know what that means. Okay, 10. Okay, so there we go. Okay, now what do you got in here? Little onions?
So some pearl onions we circulated earlier today.
Okay.
Some little mushrooms that we...
I smell wine. Is that possible?
that would be in the mushrooms. They were
Ah.
braised in red wine for about an hour.
Jeez. Alex, you're killing me.
And
So these have gone through the same process as did the quail.
that's
Like
right.
that you've cooked it in the circulated, the sous vide method.
And I also have some Parisian style potatoes, so it's just
Okay.
with a little melon baller that we've cut the potatoes, and we've done this in duck fat.
Duck fat. Where do you get duck fat?
Anytime you're butchering duck, you always have the skin left and fat, and what you do is you render it and you save it. It's considered liquid gold in the kitchen.
It is, isn't it?
So we're just gonna take our potatoes and just set them in there. And I am just gonna get you, if you wouldn't mind just moving those all around.
Sure.
That'd be great, thank you.
I feel like I'm doing something here. I'm gonna lower this a
Yeah,
bit.
that'd be great.
somebody's talking to me, but I can barely hear them.
And we're probably safe to turn that completely off.
Right off, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's off. Can I get a job there now that you've seen my work?
Absolutely. We could start you off.
Really?
Start you off in the dish pit and move your way up like the rest of us.
Okay, wait a sec. The what pit?
The dish pit.
What's that mean? I have a feeling I know, but go ahead.
The dish pit are where our stewards live and work. And
so I got to wash dishes?
That's washing and cleaning is where everybody in the kitchen gets their start.
Yeah, well, I got to start. I got to be like you. I want your job.
So, I don't know how much time we have left.
How much time before break? Is that a call? I hear a phone. I am hearing all sorts of things. Okay, you know, I got to turn my earpiece up here. Am I doing something wrong?
No, that's perfect. It's turned off?
It's off. I think it's off.
Perfect.
It's got it. Okay. You know, I'm hearing voices. And, oh man. We're going to take a break? All right, so camera 3 is where I'm looking. And you're watching Rob Patry Live, CHCO Kitchen with Chef Alex Haun. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with Rob Patry Live and Chef Alex Haun. The studio smells unbelievable, unbelievable. I'm going to share a little story with you, Alex. When I was a kid, my dad was from Quebec, and one of his favorite things to make was coq au vin. I guess that's an old school dish. But it was a combination of onions, mushroom, chicken, salt pork, and shallots. And this is what this reminds me of, this lovely smell of the mushroom and the onions, and it's intoxicating. It's classic, isn't it? It's
classic, it's that time of year, and we're transitioning from the warmer temperatures, lighter fare, to a little more rustic, a little more heavy, a little more kind of soul-filling food.
Yeah, and this combination of foods or whatever is just tantalizing. Okay, now here, what do you, okay, see, you're moving so fast. You're like greased lightning. We've got the quail and a piece of potato. And oh, look, this is what I love, this plating thing. Now, you should see what I do at home. You would be disgusted. Now, what's that, a zucchini or?
That is a yellow carrot. So all the carrots, or all the vegetables I'm plating today were harvested this morning from the garden. One of the beautiful things about Kingsbrae Garden is how much food we actually produce ourselves. As a chef, for myself and the rest of us in the restaurant, it's exciting, and it keeps us going.
Now, what's this little guy? Sorry, a turnip?
Yeah, this is a little baby salad turnip.
Okay.
So we have some mushrooms.
Okay.
We're just gonna get a little artsy fancy, I suppose. We have some.
So all these veggies are grown right at Kingsbrae.
That's right.
Is it like in a greenhouse?
We have greenhouses that are dedicated to vegetables. Right now they are just tomato and basil.
Right.
And yeah.
Because I remember when you were on the show last time, you said sometimes you go in the winter and you pick some sage for yourself.
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yeah, our rosemary, they last all year long, so I'm definitely getting in there and stealing from time to time.
Time to time, get it?
Yeah.
Oh man, look at this. See, I don't do any of this. Is unbelievable. Now you're putting a bit of, oh, see, this is where I came in.
This is where you came in. Just a little bit of time.
See, without my assistance,
this
really,
dish wouldn't have happened.
I know.
So we've got some little baby sage.
Baby sage.
Well, it's kind of...
It's like small, little...
Just...
Well, because it's a little tiny quail.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I never knew that you use little tweezers to put... But now it's making sense.
Yeah, it's kind of... We have little kits. I don't know where I set mine, but it's... most chefs have little plating kits with your favorite spoons, tweezers, and it's just so you can go to the plate and just make all your little moves quickly and with some precision. For me especially, I get a little nervous. You can see me kind of with this.
No,
this takes it away.
You're not shaking at all. It's amazing. I didn't know you guys did this. Now, what's this, a flower?
So this is a little flower, and this is really exciting because I love these flowers. They taste amazing, and they come out this time of year. So this would be on our pineapple sage. We have pineapple sage that's like 6 feet high. I'm not a big fan of pineapple sage, but
I've never heard of pineapple sage.
But I'm a huge fan of the flowers.
So this is a flower from a pineapple sage.
That's right. So and then we have right here, this is a kale microgreen.
Wow. This is absolutely beautiful.
Now, we have just a little bit of pumpkin white wine cream. Oop.
Pumpkin white wine cream.
And a little parsnip puree. Whoa.
Looks like an artist at work.
And
kids at home should be learning something. Learning to prepare meals and come over to Uncle Rob's house
and this would be a little bit of quail and duck reduction. And we're just
quail and duck reduction.
So we just take some of our quail and duck carcasses when we debone them, and then we make a nice little stock.
How do you, I don't even want to know how you do this. This looks amazing. Now, can I come to the restaurant and just get like a cup of this and just drink it down? Probably
Absolutely.
Not. Oh, I can. Oh, good. I have to mark that.
No.
Wow. Did we get a shot of that, Vicky? We did. Wow. Okay, now this is my favorite part.
Cheers.
The wine. Yes, please.
Wine too.
I think you and I need it. We've been working. What time? You were here around noon time.
Noon, absolutely.
And we've been working ever since. Because you butchered the meat, and you've been working like a maniac. So I think we need wine. I am ready.
So here we have. I think last time I brought on the Mission Hill Pinot Grigio.
Yes.
By 5 vineyards. So this is the Mission Hill 5 Vineyards Pinot Noir.
Oh, Pinot Noir.
And this is.
Do you know what they call
one
this?
of my absolute favorites.
Did you know they call this the heart grape? No, the heartbreak grape.
The heartbreak grape.
Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah, they call it that because it's such a finicky, difficult grape to grow.
Okay, because of the thin skin.
Yes.
You need hot during the day, hot during the day, and cool at night. So usually you see a lot of Pinot vineyards close to bodies of water, the ocean, because the cool air from the water.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's cheers.
Cheers.
It's a very difficult grape to grow. Oh, that's lovely. Where's this from?
This
BC?
This is BC. This is the Okanagan.
Okay, so the last time you brought the Grigio, so this would be, well, from the same vineyard.
The same vineyard,
oh,
absolutely.
I like this.
So, if you'd like to have a bite.
Well, if you're going to insist, I will. Okay, now, okay, okay. I'm going to try a lot of this because this smells so good. Okay, where should I begin?
I would go put your fork there and knife across the breast.
Start with the quail. All right. All right, I got to try some of this puree. Oh. Oh. That is absolutely, absolutely heavenly. I'm going to try these carrots. Am I allowed to eat all this?
You can help yourself. I encourage it.
All these vegetables are al dente.
And that's one of the nice things with cooking with circulators. You can really hone in on the vegetable. One of my favorite parts.
I'm not going to be talking anymore. I'm just going to stand here and eat. So you entertain the folks at home.
Not one of my stronger points.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, you need to learn, because if you're coming on, I'm going to be eating a lot.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on. It's fun to showcase some of the great products we have around the province and cook in this great kitchen.
This quail is unbelievable. Now, I had quail years ago, and I do not recall it being this tasty. This is absolutely phenomenal.
It's a great bird. It's finicky. It's easy to overcook. So it's one of those ones you want to practice a few times if you're going to go cook it for your family or friends. But yeah, when you really nail it and master it, it's a beautiful bird.
Even that little onion is good. Wow. I'm making a big mess of your plate, but I'm allowed to do that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I got to try the little potato.
So the potatoes should be still not like what you normally think with potato would be firm, but it's going to be a little harder than normal, but it should be just so full of flavor with the duck fat and the thyme.
You know what? This all tastes like restaurant food. Like, it tastes like stuff I don't do at home.
It should taste
but
like,
that's why you go out.
But it should taste like fall, because it's everything from this province. It's fresh from the garden, and it's just that time of year. It tastes like a harvest.
Yes. And you know what? You're right. Taking all these bones out is great, because this piece here is all bone-free.
That's right.
Well, people are just going to stay. What time is it? I've got 15 minutes. They're just going to stand there at home watching me eat. Absolutely phenomenal. I have a little sip of wine. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Now, we talked about Indulge, and we talked about the golf game. But what about Devour? Because that's something you wanted to touch on as well.
Yeah, Devour. It's the largest food and film festival in the world. And I was fortunate enough this year to be asked to represent New Brunswick and go. So I'll be in Wolfville,
Nova Scotia.
Wolfville, Nova Scotia for the festival. I'm going to be doing a dinner. Dinner with some other.
Keep talking, because I'm going to eat some more.
I'm going to do I'm going to be part of a dinner with some chefs from across Canada.
Yes.
I'm going to be doing a pasta course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on the Italian.
With the Italian thing, and as well, I'm going to do some demos where I'm just going to really bring some great New Brunswick ingredients and showcase what this province has and offers, and yeah.
No. Are these quails like from a farm? Is it, or is it? It's not wild.
They're not wild. They are farm raised, but they are allowed to run and play and forage and do whatever they want to do in some wide open fields.
There's absolutely no gamey flavor.
No,
to
there's
it.
not.
It's just this phenomenal, delicious taste, and it's perfect. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's perfectly cooked.
Thank you.
Which you know. You know you do that, right? That's one of your gifts. That's why you're a chef. Man, you really went into the right profession here. So now at this Devour, you said you are cooking.
I am cooking demos and doing I'll be a part of a gala dinner with some other chefs from across Canada.
Across Canada.
That's
wow,
right.
That's unbelievable. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It will be.
Now, have we got another break, or we keep talking until the end of the show? Or do I just keep eating?
You okay to do that?
To keep eating? I can keep eating, Patrick. Because did you bring enough for everybody here, or just for me? Just say just for me.
Just for you,
okay,
actually.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because really, as the host of the show, I should get the lion's share of the food. Now, I got to try. Now, what did you say this was? This piece here.
Those are yellow heirloom carrots.
Yellow. And what does the heirloom mean? Did
It's
I ask you the last time?
Yeah, heirloom. It's a signature seed. It's a classic seed.
Now, and all of these veggies are from Kingsbrae Garden.
They are. Outside of the mushroom, that was the only thing. I tried to go foraging and find some, but
Right.
I just did not.
I think we talked about that as well at one time.
That's right.
Because mushrooms they have to grow in a very difficult environment.
Not so much difficult. It's just They grow all around this area. It's just finding them at the right time when you have the right amount of moisture levels and just an optimum growing condition.
What's your favorite type of mushroom? If you have one.
The chanterelles are amazing. Lobster mushrooms, I have the best luck at finding. I can find tens and...
So do you go out in the woods?
Oh, absolutely. This year was probably the worst year for mushroom picking I've ever seen. The woods were just so dry. There was no moisture. But definitely my favorite mushroom would be a porcini. Those are the god of mushrooms around here.
Right. Do you want to hear my mushroom joke?
I'd love it.
You better laugh, because now you're committed. All mushrooms are safe to eat, but some only once. Did it make any sense?
Sure.
Did I say that right? Because yeah, it could be a poisonous mushroom.
Absolutely. With mushrooms,
never explain a joke.
With mushrooms and foraging, you don't want to mess about in the woods.
And how do you learn that?
There's courses you can go to. Fallsbrook Center up near Woodstock, Heartland, I believe. They do a lot of courses on proper foraging and identification in the woods, and get some books, watch some documentaries, and then and before you do actually go out and sample what you foraged, talk to an experienced forager.
Right.
You really want to have someone with you that's done it before and can really show you.
Yeah. Because many times we've gotten them in the backyard, and I'm thinking,
yeah, it's
not a good idea.
It's the ones we see a lot in our yards. They're called LBMs, little brown mushrooms, and those are the ones that can do some serious harm to you and cause some damage.
The only thing that stopped me from trying them is we have a couple of dogs, and well, you know what dogs are like. So I held back, but you probably saved my life, because had you not, there'd be cream and mushroom soup on the menu tomorrow. And probably a good thing that I'm not doing that. Well, that was just amazing. I don't know how you come up with this stuff, like the duck fat and the I know, like, you'll say to me, well, this is standard, but not to me it isn't. I think this is just incredible.
It's trial and error, and it's playing with flavors, and playing with flavors. Personally, I cook the food I want to eat. I cook the food I like.
Right.
I think when young chefs make a mistake, it's when they're trying to impress and when they're trying to cook. And something I'm guilty of in my younger days coming up in the industry, where you're just trying to cook and impress people, where really you should be just cooking for yourself. And once you get to that level of comfort and your skill and flavor components, you're really able to make some magic on a plate.
How many people work in the kitchen with you?
Peak season, I think there was about 8 of us.
8 people.
And right now, we're down to about 5.
Right, which is still...
It's a great group of passionate individuals that are extremely driven, that want to become chefs. They believe in sustainable food. They believe in artistic plating. They want this as a life passion.
Right. Because I think you couldn't do it unless you were unbelievably passionate about it.
The long hours, the missing friends' birthdays, the weekends away, concerts, yeah, that takes a toll, and that stress builds and builds and builds, and when you tack on a 12-hour day, it's, it becomes too much for some people.
Yeah.
You really have to find the right person.
But you must be able to decompartmentalize your life so that you can focus on the kitchen and then come back and come in and out, or maybe you can't. I don't know.
I'd like to think I can, but I'm going to be 100% honest. The job consumes me, and I think that's what I like about it so much, that it's just all day.
Yeah.
It's all day, all night. That's all you think about.
That's how this TV show is with me.
Yeah.
This is a passion.
Yeah.
I couldn't be as good as I am unless I was passionate about it. Hey, the other thing I was thinking, do you ever wear those big tall chef hats?
No,
Why?
I
want to get one for you.
No,
what size head are you? No, you'd look great.
There's definitely pictures out there of me wearing them in my younger days, because when you come out of culinary school and the chefs all wore them, you were aspiring to that.
And big hat.
The big hat, and then
right.
You were wearing a short hat, or even worse in my mind are those little black beanies that they get apprentices to wear.
Right.
And I find them just so offensive. In our kitchen, it's a simple rule. We wear our white coats,
right.
We have our aprons, and whatever kind of bandana you want to wear.
Okay.
That's your flair.
Yeah, I've seen you in that bandana.
Yeah, we all have
nice.
we all have our bandanas,
Yeah.
and that's just everybody's little bit of personal touch to a classic uniform. Because you still want to respect where we came from as chefs. That this is a brigade system. There's a long and deep history to it, and we want to respect that with our coats.
What's a brigade system? You threw me off there.
The brigade system is a very military-style system of how the kitchens were developed by Escoffier in France in the early 1900s.
Right.
Where you have a chef, a sous chef, then you have CDPs, chef de partie. Under a chef de partie, you have your commis, and then your commis are kind of assistants, and then you have your stewards, and it can be broken down into even into a little lengthier process than that. The larger the restaurant or hotel you get into.
And right at the very bottom is Rob Patry. What did you say that I would be, a dish?
I said you could come up and we'd try you out as a steward, and then we'll get you into the kitchen.
But you give me a couple of breaks, I hope.
Oh, absolutely. And even with our stewards at Kingsbrae, that a lot of them start to see what we're doing and they get excited, and I'll switch off. I'll go in the pit and I'll have my sous chef teach them something cool, because that's how the passion starts, and that's how the interest starts. And there is a need for up-and-coming young chefs. It is an industry that is struggling to find the right talented individuals that have the skill and the passion.
Well, see, I have the passion. I don't have the skills, but I could always learn it.
Well,
so there's still hope for me.
Absolutely.
It's never too. What was the oldest chef you've ever worked with?
I had an apprentice a couple years ago that was in his mid to late 40s that just started into the industry.
Okay, well that's not a good thing, man. What about like in their early 70s, like me?
You know, you're never too old to try anything.
Well,
being a lifelong learner.
Now, when I said I'm in my early 70s, why didn't you respond with, no, you couldn't be? You just accepted that I was.
I was just accepting you were making a joke and just going with
okay.
it. Yeah.
So it wasn't like you really think I'm in my...
Absolutely.
Okay, well, because I don't know, you know, it might be... Okay, well, you know what, we're out of time again. See, that hour flew by. Thank you so much, Chef Alex.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely wonderful guy. Thank you. Great, great food. Don't forget to visit Kingsbrae on the garden or whatever. And this week is
Indulge.
So please go and visit.
The golf tournament especially, we still have slots open.
Are we done? It's over.